Do you want to, oh.
Hope I gotta push this.
Oh yeah, we started. Well, welcome everyone. This is our 111th week of our Native Wellness Power Hours. I just can't believe that. So before we get into introductions and all that, we always like to start off our power hours in a good way. I'm going to ask my brother Gene to do that for us today with a song or a prayer or a joke or whatever expression he would like to do for us. So Gene, as you're looking around for, let's see, what am I going to use?
I know, I am looking around.
I know.
Okay, this is sometimes we have to improvise here. You know, as Indians, we can like grab drums anywhere. So I got this little cigar box guitar here. Little drum here.
Awesome.
It's like so I'm gonna be playing the this is how I play guitar now. Just like this. So as I'm just going to say this prayer here today and just just sing this song, and as we get started here, and just sing this song, today we're going to be talking about gratitude, joy and love, and today, but as we go into talking about that too, but first think about the land that we walk on, the land that we live on. Think about all the many peoples, MMIW and Every Child Matters, and all our relatives who are struggling out there with addictions and such, and those who have passed on, and all those struggles out there, and the love and the joy and the gratitude that we have out here too. Just bring that whatever comes to your heart and to your mind, and just send it out there as I just offer this here song here. Oh, 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 yeah, holy, look at that. New way to play guitar. Just like a drumstick.
I love that. Awesome. Thank you, Jane. That was beautiful. I love that song. So welcome everyone. This is our Native Wellness Power Hour. Today's topic is on gratitude, love, and joy. We're going to be sharing some stories on that. We welcome you to, for those of you that are on Facebook Live, to share it so that others can tune in. This, we come on once a week now. We call it our Wellness Wednesdays when we do our Power Hour. We've done over 450 Power Hours since March 21st of 2020. So this was the Native Wellness. I know, isn't that crazy? Like, oh my God. It's wild to think that. So this is our contribution to the pandemic. It's our contribution to this, this great time of change that we're in, is to provide just a 1-hour workshop on informative and uplifting things. So thank you for tuning in today. And we will go ahead and do our introduction. So Theda, would you like to go first?
Thanks, Jillene. Well, Oki Sinidapi. I'm Amskapi Pikani, Blackfeet from the Blackfeet Reservation in the Blackfoot Confederacy territory. And I'm just acknowledging our relatives, the Salish Kootenai. I'm on what they used to call Flathead Lake. but it's we share this territory with the Kootenai people, and the Salish live here. I Part of it, it's interesting, before the pandemic, I think I was somebody else, and now I'm somebody different. so, so I'm trying to, so I think who I am today is a human being in process. Like, I think I'm really just like a human being. I'm 66 years old, and I think I'm finally discovering other people's authentic self, as well as discovering my authentic self. And so I'm the oldest child of Monokini Pete NewBreast and Yellow Flower Woman Uscriptadaki Betty Bullshoe Cooper. And I always say I lost one cousin, but I have 63 first cousins. And I'm trying to count the second cousin, so I have hundreds. And then I was counting the third cousins, and I have thousands. So I'm not going to name them. It would take the whole darn hour. But I'm part of the NWI team of many moons, and I really hold that dear to my heart, because Native Wellness Institute, I just have so much gratitude that we always have kept the teachings of our ancestors alive. And no matter what happens in our contemporary or what goes on, we ask our ancestors to come and help us. And so I was trying to think, who else am I? Because like I'm a pretty darn good driver. I wanted to get to this spot, which is, this many miles, and I was just so grateful that I don't have a diesel truck. I have a gas truck, not electric yet. But just in Native Wellness Institute, I guess I'm an elder, I'm a trainer, I'm a creative person. I'm always with the team. I always like to contribute to things like this Power Hour. So I guess I'm a Power Hour diva. So that's it. I'll pass it to Jean.
Awesome. Thanks, Theda.
Thank you, Theda. I just can't help but I love that where you're at and the beauty of it. It just the vastness of it, of that area that you're in right there. And that's just beautiful. Hello, everybody. My name is Gene Tagaban. My Slinket name is Gayao. I'm of the Duckdane Ton clan, Raven Freshwater Sockeye clan from Hoona, Alaska. Child of a Wishkatan Eagle Shark clan from Aquan and Juneau, Alaska. The land of the Slinketani I was raised on. The Aquan peoples. And I'm Filipino. My last name is Tagaban. In the Philippines, it's pronounced as Tagaban. My grandfather comes from Bantock. My great-grandfather comes from Ilocos Norte. My mama is full-blood Cherokee, Sloggy, and she's born in Jay, Oklahoma, raised in Xena, Oklahoma. And her Cherokee name is Weeg, and I'm of the Wolf Clan on that side. And she traced our lineage back before the trail to Georgia, Tennessee, and North Carolina. Those places are referred to now. Right now, I'm right here on the land of the territories of the Coast Salish people, on the land of the Puyallup people, in the shadow of Mount Tahoma, known to a lot of people as Mount Rainier, named after British, but the original name is Mount Tahoma, where the waters originate from. And so it's really good to be here. It's a beautiful day here. It's kind of overcast day out there, a little bit muggy, and the temperatures are finally going up. And here in the land of the Puyallup peoples, and so it's really just talk about that gratitude. I've been with the NWI Native Wellness Institute for some time now, and I like telling people, like I started out, my hair was all dark and gray, and now it's all thinning out. It was dark and thick back then, and just didn't have any wrinkles or anything like that. my hairline was down a little bit further, and stuff. And now I got to use a lot of lotion on myself because my skin gets all ashy. My wife's always going, geez, put some lotion on you. You're getting all ashy. I can go up to you and write my name on your leg. Oh, leg. He was. And so anyways, that's enough of me for right now. And it's just, it's really, thank you for being here. And I just want to acknowledge, yes, I saw somebody, um, it is Gay Pride month this month. Yes, and I have my pride flag up on the back here, and for all relatives there. And so, yeah, thank you. And if you're watching, yeah, just put some names in here in the comments or that. So gonna teach. I'll pass it over to Jillene.
Awesome. Thanks, Jean and Theda, for your introduction. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jillene Joseph, and my Indian name is Donate, which means small woman. And I am Aani from Fort Belknap, Montana. The picture behind me it is part of the Little Rocky Mountains, and like right behind me where you can't see is a little cabin that my mom grew up in. And we were back home this weekend, cleaning graves. And that, so Memorial Day weekend, had a new meaning for me this year as we, clean my mom's grave and other people's graves. And it just felt really good for that. And I am the executive director of the Native Wellness Institute. I'm one of the founders. I have 5 children and a granddaughter, and have been doing this kind of work in Indian country since I was 19. So before we jumped on, we were talking about, being grateful to our mentors, and, and we'll talk more about what we're grateful for. So there's lots of stuff going on in our world, the war in Ukraine, we're now months into that. We have, of course, the recent unfortunate school shooting in Texas, and the week before that, the other shooting in upstate New York. And just, we're still in a pandemic, and now we have this monkeypox, and there's just like so much going on. And we hear from people all the time, right? People reaching out for help, people reaching out for support. And it's really one of the reasons why we do these power hours, is just to connect to people in a good way and to provide uplifting messaging for our people. And so when we live in a world of all this uncertainty and violence and fear and all that, we can always focus on the flip side of that. And the flip side of that is gratitude, love, and joy. And this is what we wanted to focus on today, just to create a dialogue around that, and to bring that energy, to bring the memories and the stories into your space. So we're grateful that you're here, and share it, share the Zoom link, or share the Facebook Live, especially for people that you feel could use just some uplifting stories. So we're just going to share stories today. And how about Theda? Do you want to kick us off with, let's start with gratitude first. What would you like to share with us around gratitude today?
Thank you, Jillene. I'm standing on this body of water, and I'm just grateful for water that you could drink. And I'm grateful for, our bodies. They say, when we're born as an infant or a baby, we're like 80% water. And as we get to be an elder, we might go down to 50% water. But just, I'm grateful for the water in all of you, and grateful for the water inside of me. But I guess I have to start with just a little gratitude story. And that has to do, there was an Indian man named Aaron Perry. And I was, just young in my 30s when I first heard him speak. And he always spoke about this place that I'm, is in my background. And Aaron Perry, he had gray braids, and he was always dressed humble. And, and I laugh about it because back then, humble people had holes in their jeans. Now people pay $300 for holes in their jeans. So Aaron was the kind of guy with holes in his jeans, and he always just had a simple smudge. So I'm just God, Jillene and Jean, just really grateful for prayers and for smudge. And he Aaron Perry, this place right here, and it's true. He always wanted to build a healing center. And Native Wellness Institute, we're all about, I'm grateful that we just talk about healing, 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 healing. And so Aaron, I always stop here. I drive through here. It's often, when we're driving to Missoula or we're driving to Spokane or all of those kinds of places from the Blackfeet Reservation, I always stop here and put out tobacco. And I'm just grateful because I always, like, I was coming here, Jillene, and I was saying, Aaron, could you help me out? Can you help me could there be good Wi-Fi when I get by? I just asked him just a simple help me out to get there, because I want to invite everyone to come here, to come to this space. And so I'm grateful, that Aaron taught us the to smudge and not judge. I never heard a judgmental word come from him, uttered from his being, or his words, or his prayers. And he would say things. So I guess, like our mentors, like what you said, Jillene, he would just say, no matter what's going on, and like you mentioned, the challenges of automatic weapons, that kind of stuff. No matter what's going on, he'd just say, light a smudge, pray. And if you're in difficult situations, as we have been with this pandemic, with all of our loss and other challenges, he would say, when you don't know what to do, light a smudge. I mean, and it would be like, people would be coming to Aaron and, crying about childhood woes, or, the ultimate relationship woes. Oh, we broke up, or they'd be just crying, and he would say, light a smudge. I mean, you're like, get in the solution and light a smudge, say some prayers. But I just wanted to just on that note of gratitude, we'll share that story is wake up as early as you can with the morning star and just make a gratitude list. And so I this morning, I was just, everything I looked at around me, my family, I was looking at all our family pictures, and I was looking at the water, I was looking at the animals, and even I have a pet skunk and a pet fox, and they were getting along. The pet skunk was getting and nobody was getting pissed off. It's like, so I was just like, wake up and everything around you, be glad you have a home. Be glad that, you have a bed. Be glad that you have furniture. Be glad that you have memorabilia. Be glad that you have a running car. And I was just, expressing so much gratitude and saying, I'm really grateful that you pay $175 a tank for diesel. I'm really grateful that I was actually being grateful. And I guess I'll kind of end on that note and shift it to you, because I think just shift your mind, because it's all a mind thing. When you feel like complaining or doing something of that nature in your mind, just shift it to gratitude and start making the gratitude list, and just list all of the beautiful things, just like my mom always taught us to thank our heart for beating and pumping the blood through the rest of the parts. And so I was just saying, thank you, left ventricle. Thank you, right ventricle. Thank you for pumping my blood, and thank you that I could walk, and thank you that I could talk, and thank you, I like to sing. I can't sing worth a darn, but I still sing anyway. I was just like Motowning it loud because no one's in my truck and I'm not hurting their ears. So I'll shift it back to you, Jillene.
Awesome. Thanks, Theda. Well, Jean, you want to share about gratitude?
Sure. And thank you so much. I mean, is gratitude, when we talk about gratitude, because sometimes we have to like search for it. Sometimes we have to like just like really, like Theda was saying, write these things down, right? And because we get into the habit of it, because the all the heaviness that's out there in the world, all the negativity that's out there, those things we don't have to search for. It seems like they just show up, and that all we have to do is turn on the TV or just even just look around, but if our mind is set on that, then that's what the lens that we're seeing is going to pick up, but so how can we like really just start searching and working to find that gratitude out in the world? And so the gratitude I just want to share right now is that I just recently was up in Alaska, and I'm going to show you a picture here of where I was at and where I was raised. I was raised in this area right here, and there's mountains there, there's glaciers there, and there's my bike, and there's the water right there. Everything in this picture just shows just everything I'm really grateful for. Just the land itself, the rocks and the pebbles, and you know, um, and so when I was growing up, I couldn't wait to get out of this place, man. I was like, just couldn't wait to like, oh man, everyone comes, thousands, millions of people come from all over the world to and pay millions of dollars to come to this place that I grew up at, up in there in Alaska. And at that time I was going, I can't wait to get out of here, man. And so I got out of there and had some adventures. And now every time I go back, my mother, my mother who's an elder, picks me up at the airport, and the first thing we do is we take a drive out there to the glacier just to take a look, just to see it and just to be it, and just it brings something that it's a routine, it's a ritual that we have, just to take a look. And then we'll look at all, see how many tourists are out there too, and like look at the tourists, like, oh, look at that tourist right there. We'll go tourist watching, and people watching. It's like, they're as different as birds, they're different as birds, different types of birds, big birds, small birds, funny looking birds, different colored birds and all that. Those are all the tourists are out there. We're just, and look at them. But the gratitude I have is just being out there in this land that raised me, and just now those things that I hold dear in my heart. And and I had my bike in that picture too. Just even being able to ride a bike. I have a goal. I want to be able to ride my bike into my 80s and 90s. So I want to be able to be functional and ride my bike. And so what can I do now to be able to hold on to that? So even talking about that, I have gratitude. I'm really grateful for my health and my wellness. I can still move, I can still breathe, my lungs are good. Like just like Theda said, I talk to my lungs, say, hey, thank you, brother. So keep me bringing air into my system, my arms, my hands and stuff. And earlier I played a song on my cigar box guitar that that was this guy was given away, and so I took it, and but I, and my wife, I'm really grateful for Ruby, my life partner, my wife, because um, you know, I know she got on here and she's just wanted to make sure my hair was okay and slick, and all that I didn't have any, a random hair sticking out of the end of my nose or any, those things. And I know she got on here, made sure I like changed my clothes, and she's gonna, so I could tell you didn't take a shower though, she's gonna say. But anyways, um, I hold gratitude for those people in my life who watch over me. And yes, I do help other people, and I love that. I love doing that and stuff, but really grateful for those, in my life who keep an eye on me, and like Theda and Jillene will check in with each other. We keep an eye on each other, and those things too. And so with my hand, as I age, I have to do things differently now. and I didn't, think about that when I was younger. But for now, it's like I have an injury to my hand, and so I can't play my guitar the way I used to. I might have to play it differently now because I injured a finger here, pretty major finger right here. And so she bought me these finger exercisers. Ruby did, so I could do finger exercising, and and that she says, I want you to strengthen up your hand. But the truth be it, she probably wants me to like strengthen up my fingers because she wants to make sure that I can continue to rub her feet and rub her back. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. She's telling me that, no, so you can play your guitar and all those things. No, I'm pretty sure it's like to continue to rub her feet and rub her back. That's why she wants me to keep my hands strengthened and those things. And so I hold gratitude for those in our lives that were taking care of me. But even those, my parents are elderly now, and so when I go up to Alaska, what can I do for them? I'm just grateful that I have that ability to be able to be there and help them out too. I mean, just I can go on and on and on about the gratitude that I hold now. I mean, we got a beautiful house, beautiful dogs, and just we were eating food, and so it's like these things I hold dear to me, in gratitude, and I got my smudge right here, and yeah. So before we run out of time, like I'll keep going on and on and on. I want to shift it over there to Jillene, and so with that, just think about what is it that you hold grateful and gratitude in your lives, and really take note of those things. Yeah, especially since what's changed from when you're younger to when you're older, and because I know our crew is like a little older audiences out there too. And thank you for being here.
Awesome. Thank you, Jean. I actually Googled the definition of gratitude. So I just want to share it. It says the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for and to return kindness. I like that. I like that definition. I love reading about like social science research and stuff, especially like around gratitude. And this one time I went down this rabbit hole of gratitude research. And one of the things I found was there was a study that showed if you say out loud 20 things a day that you're grateful for, it impacts your mental well-being. So if you live alone, maybe you could look in the mirror and tell yourself 20 things a day that you're grateful for. Or if you live with a significant other or your children or other family members, maybe you're going to make that a daily practice of sharing 20 things that you're grateful for and just kind of have some awareness about how that makes you feel, right? So from an early age, I knew the power of gratitude. And so anytime there's life challenges, I tried to focus on gratitude. And what I've learned since is that that's kind of how we bring balance, right? When we're, in a really challenging situation, to focus on that gratitude, to bring in that other side. And just like what today's power hour is about, we're trying to bring that balance into a world that is just kind of a little bit chaotic right now, right? So I wanted to share that study. And then also share like how we can bring gratitude like into our lives. So for example, in our home, how we do it, since my kids were small and they're all in their 20s now, 30s, since they were small, our practice of gratitude was at mealtime. And so we would all go around the table, and we still, eat dinner together every day. And if someone's not there, like there's still a core of us that eats meals together every day. And that is our blessing for our meal, is we go around the table and everybody shares what they're grateful for. So I'm sharing that because that might be a practice that you might want to bring into your home as well, right? So for example, when my kids were little, they would say, I'm thankful for my fork, or I'm thankful for the salt and pepper, or, like things that were literally right in front of them. But the more practice that they got, and that the more they heard their siblings or me or other people say what they were grateful for, then they started, learning that more, and then started saying things like, I'm grateful for water, and, just more meaningful things as they grew and matured. So you could think about that. I challenge you maybe even to bring that practice into your home. And we do it when we have company, and sometimes our company will, tell me later, like, I loved when we did that at your house, and we're doing that in our home now too. So that's pretty awesome. And then you could think about how you could even bring that into your workspace. Maybe you're going to start a staff meeting like that, or end a staff meeting like that. Everybody's sharing, what they're grateful for. So I just wanted to offer those as ways to incorporate gratitude. And then the other thing is, when you do find yourself in a challenging situation, maybe it's from watching the news and seeing what's happening, or maybe you have your own loss in your life, or challenges at work, or whatever. Just pause and try to focus on the gratitude, right? And just see how that feels. This one time I was cooking, and I was making like some sweet potatoes, and for whatever reason, like this just big wave of gratitude came over me, and I started thinking about, I'm grateful for the farmers that picked these sweet potatoes, and grateful for the truck drivers that, drove them to my store, and, whatever, just going on and on. And pretty soon I was like giving thanks for my pan and the spoon that I was using, and the fire that was cooking my food, a gas stove. And, I actually I came to tears because of just being in gratitude, because not everybody has sweet potatoes in their pantry to eat, or even a pan or a spoon to cook with, or whatever. So anyway, I just wanted to share that much on gratitude. And thank you all. What are you grateful for? Share in the chat. So next we wanted to shift and focus on love, and just share some stories around that. So Theda, would you like to go next?
I'd love to. The processes, or the ability to love, is just so amazing, that when I was pondering, Gene always says, when you're wondering or pondering, I was just thinking about how we love once we come out of the womb, or how we even inside of our mother's womb, we love in there. We love what the sounds we hear. We love, and I think we love the feelings that our mother has. We love the feelings of the relatives around us. And then I was just thinking of, like the goofy stuff, like your first love, and it might be kindergarten or first grade, where you love them so much, you write them little crazy notes, or you run by them and you hit them on the arm and run away. And those are such goofy ways to express love. Like go, like, and then, you get a little bit older, and say there's a 7th or the 8th grade, and, they organize the dance, and you love to go to the dance. And then it's just so funny, because all the boys are lined up against the wall, and even for our LGBTQ transgender, it's you love, and you go and you love to dance, but you want to you're so scared to ask, but you love them, you want to love, and you want to dance with them. And then you grow up a little bit older, and wherever you heard stories about courtship, I mean, because I remember a story of love, of that the flute was like medicine, and you played the flute, and it was the medicine by which you expressed love, and you asked for love, or you went and courted someone. So maybe I'll just say a little bit that I really appreciate courtship, and I always thought, oh my God, what if, because I'm a heterosexual, God, what if some guy was blow my window, and he had his flute and made me a song, and I'd go, ooh, so, like, ooh, so that's like love. And then, and then I've been privileged to love, I wouldn't say many men, but I've been privileged to love them, and really privileged that they loved me back. I mean, and it was, and I'll just say in my relationships, I would always, I would leave the relationship for a better relationship that I saw in my mind. But it wasn't until, this is when I discovered when my love was taken away and my heart got broken. And so once my heart got broken, what I discovered was it was a blessing, even though it felt like, oh man, it hurt so bad. It just really, I was just shattered, and my heart was broken. But what it did is it busted open my heart with the ability to love more. And it's some kind of dichotomy, or it's the irony. And then once I had a broken heart, I could love more. But because like if you just have love, like easy love where there's no broken heart, that sounds boring, eh? No. But so, and then today, I don't, my life partner doesn't really like me to talk about him, but I was just thinking today, like all his little idiosyncrasies, I just love them. Like I just love that he wakes up each day with purpose. I love it. And even if the purpose is to, look at building a new fence, or the purpose is to design a new piece of jewelry, or he starts sketching, or he wakes up with purpose and doesn't just sit there, whatever, just, it's like, and so I love that about him. I love that I love that he loves all parts of me, that it's even the, the parts that I'm working on improving, even, and he teases me with humor. He teases me to laugh at myself. And so I laugh a lot at myself because I'm trying to improve. So I love that. But I'll just say, the people we have lost lately, I love them so dearly. But I just been thinking, when I go, and like, I don't want to die today, but I don't think I'm afraid of dying. I was just thinking, man, I'm just going to love it when I get to see my grandpa and grandmas, and I get to see White Quiver. I get to see, not only the human beings, but I'm really looking forward to, because when I was like 5 years old, I had this one dog that chased some cows off a cliff. And it's like old Montana rule, they had to end that dog's life. And I remember when they did, I'm going to love to see that dog, because I just remember being a crushed child and couldn't understand that. But then later on as adult, I had a different understanding that there has to be rules, and I guess it's not a good idea to chase all the cows off the cliff, but I was thinking, hey, that would have been a good dog chasing the buffalo off the cliff. Like, that's how the buffaloes went off the cliff, and then we butchered them, and then we had a whole bunch of meat, so I guess I love to take stuff and flip it to the good side, that there's always a lesson. So, because I know when I've been beat down to my knees and begging Creator, that I love that, because I always grow from it, and I always learn from it, and it brings more joy. So I guess I'll say that much, Jillene, and I'll shift it back to you.
Awesome. Thank you, Theda. How about you, Jean? What's your love stories?
It's just when I think about those stories of love, it sure would have been different when I was younger, speaking about love. And I've gotten a little older, or sometimes in some cases much older. Um, uh, how it's interesting how things shift. Our whole perspective on things, our whole view of things, of seeing instead of seeing things like this, seeing things like this, about love, or about life, and so it's about love is, I had an elder this one time had me sit outside. He says, now sit outside every day for 2 weeks. First thing in the morning, the thing about now Theda would say, get up early in the morning. And he'd say, before the sun even comes up, I want you sitting out there. Just sit out there and just watch. Watch those mountains over there. And so I was watching those mountains, and I was down in New Mexico at the time, so the Sandia Mountains and that area, and so every morning I get up. The first morning I got up, and it was a little cold out. I mean, it's chilly out there, and I was shivering a little bit. So I had a blanket and prepared myself. So I did that for 2 weeks, and then as he asked, but I did it for an extra week because I got so much out of it just by sitting there and watching and observing, and the vibration I saw of the trees as an anticipation of the sun that's about to come up, and bless them and shine down, on them, and as the trees were about to take it in, and then the sound of the birds that are all around that dawn chorus. As soon as the sound, that light comes, and that you hear the sound of the birds, that dawn chorus that just starts to sing, and and all sometimes they'll see those flowers that close up, but then when the sun hits they start to open up, and everything just starts coming to life, and there's so much more. There's a vibration there, and I noticed that not only that the vibration that was there, but the vibration that I had within my own system, my own body, my own being, and just as I sat there and watched. And then and then when I went to him, I said, oh, he says, so did you do that? Did you sit out there for 2 weeks straight? I sat out there for 3 weeks straight. And he goes, good, good, good. Oh, now go get me a cup of coffee. Huh? And he didn't even ask me like what my experience was. He asked me, he just wanted me to have the experience. And the experience of just that anticipation, that love that earth has, the sunrise has, the flowers have, and the sun just loves the creation of the earth, the beauty of the trees and everything around you, and that that story, I tell you, still sticks with me because I'm still learning about that. It's still teaching me that story, about the love, but it's that the same love I have um for my parents, my mom and my dad, my brother, my siblings, and my cousins. Even some of those cousins and uncles and stuff like that, I disagree with them in many, many ways. And this last trip I went with, there's an uncle that, we disagree in so many ways and so many things, but I'll still go up to him, I'll give him a hug, and I'll tell him I love you, and just that love that uh that's there. And then as especially in this here time of transition of my dad, he's not going to be on this earth much longer. And we're talking about, as Theda was talking about death, and this is part of life, eh? And we're talking about our past dogs. My mom just lost her dog of 12 years, and so it's really very raw. And she has on her picture on her refrigerator. This would be awesome. Everyone take pictures of your refrigerators and just post them. Because we have all those things, so many things that we love are on our refrigerators. A family of like pets, of events, those things. But my mom has these pictures of all the dogs, all the cats, all the pets that she's had in our life are on the refrigerator. And so it's like, we were talking about that. Yeah, all those dogs that we had, they're going to be there to greet you, pops. All those dogs, and it's like, and when that time comes, and so, that just that so much about that love and that gratitude, the love that I have of a partner, a life partner, and the sacrifices too, want to make those sacrifices that she makes for me, and those sacrifices we make for each other, and you know, and gosh, um, but again, it's like I'm teaching myself, especially as I age, I'm getting older, I'm teaching myself to search for love even more in the world, because we so much need it. There's so much hurt, there's so much pain. Those things, again, we don't even have to search for it, but the love, the love and the gratitude out there, I'm searching for it. I'm a looker for that, and I'm a tracker for it, trying to track it, and point it out, because I so much need that. I so much need that in my life too. So I'm gonna just with that, I want to turn it over to Jillene. So thank you.
Thanks, Jean. Oh, there's just so much, like that topic alone is such a big thing. So I have a couple different thoughts. When I was growing up, my parents didn't really say I love you a lot. That kind of wasn't a norm. So I made sure that that was a norm with my kids, telling them that. However, with my parents, they may have not said it, but I felt it, right? I felt their love and everything that they did for us, literally everything. So I never felt like deprived of that or anything like that. So if we grew up in homes where we didn't hear that, it may be uncomfortable for us to say that, right? I love you. So just having some awareness about that. And then we also have the power to start saying it if we want, right? Regardless of how old we are. So I just wanted to share that and, challenge folks just to kind of look at those words, I love you. And do you say them very often? And then the second thing is I do these little love, I don't know, love experiments, I guess you could say, but where I send love to other people. So I believe like Gene has that pride flag behind him. And I think about all the controversy over who loves who, right? And how you choose to love. It's like, who cares like who you choose to love? Like if you don't like it, then it's none of your business really, and now we have to have laws and we have to try to control who people love and how they love. And it's just like, it's such wasted time and energy. And sometimes I think, man, the people that want to try to control how other people love, maybe it's because they don't feel loved or they, and there's a lot of people in our communities and in our families that don't feel that love, right? They don't feel loved. And so like when I say my prayers at night or sometimes in the morning, one of the parts of my prayers is I send love out to like, I start small and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger until it goes around like the whole world. And I have a visualization to it as well. And so sometimes I'll do these little experiments when I'm in public. And no one knows I'm doing it because it's just in my head, right? But like, for example, this one time I was in this airport and my flight got delayed and it was late and there wasn't that many people in the airport. But anyway, I was walking down this big corridor and all these shops are, there and the food court and stuff. And I started sending love to people, right? And how I visualized that in my head was I wrapped them in these ribbons, and these ribbons are like soaked with love. So I was doing that. I was walking down so there's this lady looking at books over here, and I'm just like sending her love. And all of a sudden she's looking at these books, and all of a sudden she just looks up and she kind of like looks at me and she's looking around. And that was just my confirmation, like that she felt that, right? She felt that love. So then I'm walking down and there's this man sitting at this table and he's eating. And so I'm just like sending him love, and he's like busy eating. And he did the same thing. Like he stopped and he paused and he was like looking around. So I took that as confirmation that he felt that, right? So anyway, going down, I kept doing that. But I do that in my prayers. I do that in these like social science, research, whatever, by sending love to people, because I think our world needs more love, right? It's so filled with war and violence and everything like that. And so one way to counter that is by sending more love out there. So that's what I do. And I'm sharing this because I'm letting you into a little bit into my world, because what if we all did that? What if we all sent love to people? What if we all included that in our prayers or whatever, right? I think it would make a difference. I was really inspired one time to learn that there's people here in the United States that that's all they do all day long is meditate on love and to send love out into the world, because they believe exactly that it counters the violence and everything else that's out there. So I just wanted to share that about love. And then the last thing before we move on into talking about joy is, really looking at what love means to you, and starting with yourself, because I think that's where it has to start, right? And loving ourselves, and learning how to do that and feeling comfortable, feeling worthy of our own love, so that we can give it to others, right? Even if it's, in our own thoughts. So the last thing, and we have about 7 minutes left, 7 or 8 minutes left already, is to talk about joy. So we're going to end on joy. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Theda.
Oh my God. I knew you were going to say the minutes. Okay. Done. No. I always say it's our birthright to thrive and have joy. And, even today, I said, I'm going to choose joy because I wanted to just choose joy. So I took the long way through the mountains. And I was like saying, ooh, I like that rock. Ooh, that gives me joy. Ooh, that's a good curve. Ooh, look at that mountain. You could almost slide down it. Ooh, look at that water. Ooh, look at that water. And I think that with our mind, and I say it's our mind, but our spirit. If you ask your spirit to see everything as joyful, because for my house sitter, I always do all the dishes because I don't think that's fair to. So I was doing the dishes starting fast, and I go, no, I'm going to make this joyful. This is a ceremony doing dishes. I'm going to make it joyful to wash these dishes. So I think it's choosing joy, just like choosing love, and looking at the situation and actually, smiling, because it increases the value of your face. Because, even on Zoom, you see people. It's like, hey, smile a little bit. It takes more muscles to frown. So why don't you smile and have a little joy? Anyway, just some thoughts, some 2-minute thoughts. What do you think, Gene?
2-minute joy thought.
Yeah.
Again, it's like, how can I search for that joy and find that joy, and the choice to create joy. When I'm gone, even for not that long, I really look forward to opening up the door and my 3 dogs jumping up and down, because and just like the wagging the tails, like they're going like, we've missed you so much, oh my goodness, where are you? And that joy I get from that. But even the joy of, okay, I find, listen up, guys, listen up here. I find joy in vacuuming, doing the dishes, cleaning up the house, making the bed. I find joy in that, because it's my, Ruby really appreciates it, I find joy in it, and even when she has a list for me and I do the check off the honeydew list and stuff like that. Like this morning, I watered the plants outside, since I'm working from home quite a bit now. I water the plants outside, and she's going to check on me. She goes, did you water the plants? And I go, I could say today I did. Actually, I was supposed to do it yesterday and I forgot. So this morning, but I find joy in that. Finding joy in and those things now, and doing that stuff, because it other people appreciate it. Other people, the appreciation that helping others out. I find joy in that, and so there's those things. So with our time here, I'm going to turn it over to Jillene.
Awesome. Thank you. So I just Googled joy, and the definition, a feeling of great pleasure and happiness. That's the Google's definition of joy. So what I want to share about joy is, like, you know, we get to choose the kind of life that we want to have. Like, that's how powerful we are, right? All of us that's on the Zoom, all of us that's on the Facebook Live, like, we're powerful. Like, all of us are powerful because of our minds and the kind of life that we want to have, right? That we choose to have. I choose to live a joyful life. So I look for joy. I look for friends that live a life of joy, family members that live a life of joy. And that's who I want to surround myself with, right? That's who I surround myself with, because I want to be happy. And and I love that Theda says that, that's our right, that's our birthright, right? Is to be happy and to find joy in our lives. And even sometimes if I'm feeling sad or bad or mad or whatever, like, I'll intentionally look for joy, right? Because that's the counter, that's the flip side of it, right? And so I love to laugh. Joy helps me to be creative. Like, joy helps me to be more productive. Joy helps me to be more proactive. So, like, joy, living a life of joy is my norm. Like, that's my norm. And so when I get out of that norm, like, I feel it immediately, right? So then that helps me to look for that joy if I'm not feeling it. And then I think another big lesson of joy and love and gratitude is feeling that we're worthy of that, right? We're worthy of a life of gratitude. We're worthy of a life of filled with love, and we're worthy of a life filled with joy, right? Like, to be happy. That's a good thing. So anyway, that's all I want to share about joy. So I just want to offer all of us an opportunity just to kind of close up, and any final thoughts about anything that we shared today. Theda, would you like to go first?
I would just encourage you, step outside, and Jean tells us to take off our shoes. So I'm gonna kick off my flip flops and go outside and take some tobacco. And if you don't have tobacco, like when you're there's some juniper right here. When you don't have tobacco, you can always use your spit, because your spit is alive. And put some tobacco or some of your spit out, some of your body, and just ask for your own self-care, your own self-love, your own brilliance, your own creativeness, and that you could bring it out and bring that joy to others and see their joy, because people can feel it. They can, just like I can, I'm sitting here and the wind's blowing and I could feel you, Jillene and Jean. And I think I saw Steven on here. I mean, I could feel you guys. And so I just go out and put that prayer out on the ground. Because if we all did that, if we all just went and put in that black dirt or in the water and just put down a prayer of tobacco or some kind of offering, I think for everything around our world, if we all did that, boom, we'd have a different world. That's some of my thoughts.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Theda. Jean, how about you? Some closing thoughts?
Boom. I like that. Gratitude, love, and joy. I was reading this here. Luann put in the comments, says in here about that sometimes it can be tough finding those things, love, joy, and gratitude. And so it's a practice, and just work at just a little bit every day, and sometimes we struggle. I mean, and that struggle will be there. But if we practice, just try to looking for these things, searching for these things, find them with your own self. It's all around us. And so it's a everyday practice. So when those hard times do come, which they will, you've already prepared yourself. We're already preparing ourselves. So when those times do come. So it's a daily practice. It's not just when we're down, but it's like when we're feeling good about ourselves, things are working out well. Still practice that. And so that when I'm 58 now, and and so that when the time comes, as we age, it's just like, wow, it just becomes natural. It just becomes a natural activity, natural way of life, of seeing the world. That's why I put my hands, my body was telling you exactly what I was telling you before my words even said it. A way of seeing the world,
Mhm.
way of life.
Awesome. Thank you, Jean. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I shared earlier that we have over 450 power hours on our YouTube channel. So if you ever need a pick me up or some background noise while you're doing something at work or at home, while you're beading or cooking or whatever, to turn on the power hour. There's tons and tons of topics, all to help us along our healing journeys, to provide some uplifting messaging and things like that. So we're grateful for you for tuning in. And I put that in the notes as well. We're grateful for you for being here. We send you much love, and we hope that you find some joy in the rest of your day. So see you next Wednesday on our Power Hour, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you. Good